top of that list. The FDA in its Twitter account putting out, "You are not a horse." Do you remember the tweet, "You are not a horse, ivermectin is for animal"? Ivermectin is one of those highly used, widely distributed drugs on the planet. Ivermectin is used everywhere. Millions of doses a day on this planet of ivermectin are taken. Again, it's what helped me go from very, very sick with COVID to almost symptom-free in 8 hours. You can believe what you want. People can say what they want. Critics can say what they want. But ivermectin and the Z-Pack was the magic for me. Now, I still got pretty sick there for a bit. I didn't head it off at the pass. But if not for ivermectin, I don't know how sick I would have gotten. So, you have to ask yourself, what is the motivation of these people to keep you away from ivermectin or the Z-Pack? And why didn't they treat people at the hospital? Why did they say, well, you're not too sick yet. You just go home. If you get worse, come back. That's not treating anything. That's doing nothing. And many of those people that left and came back under the ventilators, do you know the survival rate the last time I looked on, if you were put on the vent, survival rate was 10% or less of people who were put on the vents. It did real damage to people. But that's what we were told. Donald Trump went out and got 10 billion of the things made. They're sitting in a warehouse somewhere. Those companies got wealthy too, by the way. There are ventilators that will never be used because there's literally millions of them stacked in warehouses somewhere that you, the American taxpayer, paid for that had no real value for the vast majority of people. We didn't need more ventilators. We needed more intervention. We need people that were doctors to be allowed to talk, to treat their patients the way they saw it fit, not based on some government directive. That's the kind of power they crave, and that's what we must say, absolutely not. I'll be back. And during the break yesterday, I said, well, are you from, he lives in Vancouver, British Columbia. He's a Canadian citizen. And I said, have you lived there your whole life? He goes, no. I was born in Poland in World War II. And I said, excuse me? The guy sounded 40 years old. He sounded like a young man. Born in Poland in World War II. He's in his 80s. And I was, playing and saying things back. And he was sharp. The point being is, if we take care of ourselves, avoid these government mandates, stop eating the things you find in the middle of the grocery store and stick to the outside wall, that's where you find the meat department, fruits and vegetables, the bakery. Real food is on the outside walls of your supermarket. Food-like products, things that taste like food and smell like food and look like food, those are in the middle of the store, highly processed items. And chronic disease, because we're processing all this junk all the time, well, I think a fair amount of it could be avoided. My grandmother, when I was growing up, used to drink the water from the broccoli she'd boil. And she told me way back in the 1970s she couldn't eat processed bleached white flour. I said, why not? It makes me bloated. It makes me not feel well. It makes me feel ill. She knew in the 1970s that we've continued to feed our people this garbage. Time to clean up our act and maybe we'll feel a little bit better. That's all I'm saying for Thanksgiving. All right? I'll be back.